before we begin, I want to make something incredibly clear. I do not know if this build is the best of the best, most cracked out of your mind build we'll ever see in God of War. But what I do know is it is incredibly potent, at least for normal mode. We'll scale the difficulty and see how it fares in a minute here. But this build functions around stunning enemies, constantly shish kebabbing them in every conceivable way, utilizing a bunch of cool damage stacking armor pieces that are actually really easy to attain, and mainly using the spear above all else. One of the things that bothered me about God of War was that seemed like there became clutter really quickly. You have 3 weapons to choose from and a bunch of skills to spam, and it's not really clear which weapon you should anchor on and use, if not just using all of them. I personally just wanted to mess around with a weapon that I never messed around with, which in turn is the spear, which by the way is fantastic and so painfully good. But the other thing that we're messing around with this build is spear. We are going to be messing around with slowing down time almost permanently and maximizing our damage and our stun. If you like seeing Kratos shish kebab, smash, and bash every single enemy in front of him, then you're going to love this build. But before I get too ahead of myself, this is the gameplay of the build. If any of this stands out to you and you want to rock it, then listen to what we're about to say. There's not too many pieces to this to make this come together, so you'll be fine. This is on the second hardest difficulty. Unfortunately, I couldn't scale it to the highest because you need to start the game with the highest difficulty in order to show it. But as you guys can see, on the second highest difficulty, every enemy is getting virtually one shot, put into a stun state, and immediately shish kebabbed 6 times. And I'm not even playing really well. I took a little break from the game, played some other games, Dark Tide, all that, and I got a little less good with gameplay. But essentially, the other thing with this build that's fantastic is you can actually just depend on your Leviathan Axe and Chaos Blades as simply skill fodder. So just switch to them, activate a skill, chuck them down, and then go back to the spear. You're going to want to play the spear, and honestly the spear wants you to play a lot of it, because your hold charge on the spear actually siphons off an element, and of course getting to the last detonation of your combo creates a tornado that just shreds enemies, especially if you have damage scaling on it. And the last thing I'll tell you as a suggestion if you're going to use this build is do your damnedest to push an enemy past its stun state until it's a kill state. So a stun state allows you just to like bonk an enemy really hard opposed to kill them outright. And basically the reason why this build is so good is because stun isn't just stun. Stun puts them into a stun in which allows you to beat the shit out of them until they are in a kill state, which was what makes it so ungodly good. Not only that, but because of bossing, we have certain things that we're utilizing that makes it so that we have a ton of health and deal an absolute crazy amount of damage, as well as slow time kind of permanently by spamming Maelstrom and building stacks in that. And we just become a damage soup, and the only reason why I'm taking damage is because I'm not doing a good job at blocking. I haven't played a while. Usually it became all reflex, and I haven't had that yet. But anyways, let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you piece this thing together. So let's talk about the 2 things that are the most important to start with, especially if you're just seeing this and you're struggling with the game and you're looking for a build that can give you some oomph. It seems like in God of War, the main thing that you're going to need to focus on is your amulet, and the more slots you can unlock, the better, and the more harmony you can find within each gear, the better. What I mean by harmony is there is a set bonus, or a perk activation. Now the good news, the dwarves basically can give you a lot of the stuff that you can find, with one exception that is unfortunately the stun. This one right here, the Svarhing, that one. This one. Hello, I'm back. To make this significantly streamlined, the set bonuses that we have are incredibly good. Increasing stun damage based on our defense, which we have a lot of, and then the other one that converts our rage or health into rage, or rage into health. Regardless, we end up having a ton more rage, and the best part about that is that we have a chest piece that converts our rage into health, because rage is kind of fucky in this game, not as good. Unless you're using Wrath, which can kind of be good, but better off just hitting them with more stuns. Anywho, point being is, how do you get amulet gems? This is something that I was struggling to find out, how you get these specific gems, specifically in regard to Svartalheim's gems. Essentially, gems are acquired through 2 means that I'm aware of. One of them is through buried treasure in the location of the gem's name. So each gem name is just literally a location. Just go to that location, or wait until you progress enough in the story to get to that location, and then run around and do all of the buried treasure. Not treasure, buried treasures, go to the islands that have question marks and run around them and dig it up. And it's usually corresponding with a quest in the area. So get all the buried treasure in an area and a potential corresponding quest, but it's usually just the buried treasure. The other way you could do it, the second way that I know, is to just go to the dwarves that can upgrade your gear and go into their shops until you find the upgrade gems and then buy the ones that are there. The only one that you really need is the one that you can get access to at the very start of the game, which is the defense scaling stun, which you can just go run around the beginning area and get all that you need, and you should be ready to rip. That stun is so good, and again, it scales off defense, so if you have a good defense, that's good, but you don't need that much defense, especially with Freya helping with stun and all these other metrics. But yes, then we have things like this, which are more intrinsic to the build. Melee damage increased when doing a realm shift, which is the slow-mo mode, which you'll eventually get access to. It's crazy. The second thing is this: hitting stunned enemies unleashes shockwaves and has a chance to generate strength. Now, this is the other thing with stun, that you can keep wailing on someone and slowly stunning them over time. And like before you're actually going to detonate the stun. So you're able to like whittle down their health more, which I think would be insane for, of course, endgame or playing on harder difficulties. I think kinetic resilience is probably actually better given what we do, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So let's start talking about things like this. Increases melee damage during realm shift. Realm shift is a slow-mo mode that you have. We also have this, which just increases your stun when you hit someone who is stunned, which is great. You shouldn't actually, if an enemy has really high health and you don't have the red around the execution button, hit him a couple more times because it won't break down the stun. It'll just lessen the time you have to do it, but if you can hit them, you're clearly right there. So hit them a bunch until they're into the red and then detonate the stun, and then they'll be basically dead. Awesome. The other thing we have okay, we're gonna make this a little bit more simpler because it's kind of getting more complicated the more I let myself ramble. Anyways, okay, we're gonna engage with three things. First thing being that's our point of power is we are converting our rage into health. The more rage we have and health to boot, the more damage we're gonna do, melee damage. Awesome. That's one aspect of this, our chest piece, and of course having our rage give us more vitality, and our vitality being more rage just makes us a crazy good tank. Okay, awesome, perfect. Put that to the side. That's one aspect of this. The other aspect of this is stun, which I've talked to you guys about ad nauseum, but basically there are things within Freya's kit, which I'll show you in a minute, which basically just increase your damage when stun, increases all your melee damage when stun, and of course gives Freya the ability to lock an enemy down with sonic arrows and stun the shit out of them. The other aspect of this build is to basically, it's like the boss solution of this. It's the ability to slow down time every single time you activate your Maelstrom, which is your combo build-up thing where when you hit an enemy without getting attacked, you basically can pop your weapon into the air, enchanting it with whatever element it has. For our spear, it is stun, and with the hilt that we have on our spear, we slow down time. This allows you to wail on enemy after enemy, boss after boss, and because of all of our other gear, pants and gloves included, we are basically increasing the chance to get access to that, basically building a charge faster, so being able to slow down time faster. For our build, our Spartan Rage, I have it on Wrath just because sometimes if you do want to nuke down like the Berserkers, this is incredibly helpful, but ultimately you don't really need so much, especially considering our armor is a massive player in this. So first of all, our armor that we're using, we basically can build Maelstrom and keep time slowed constantly, and also keep our stun maxed the hell out, which is amazing. And yeah, you can also pick other things like, I think there's one that decreases skill cooldown if you're into that, but this just seems great, and it's also a static 30% extra gain on your Maelstrom, so you're able to get that way faster. Anyways, one thing that not enough people talk about is the accessories of your companion and leveling that up, specifically ones that feed into the way you like to play. So for me, melee attacks against enemies that are affected by sonic and stun, which is mass AoE. It's like so good. This works perfectly. Also, everything's just getting stunned even more stuns, all that stuff. But we also have this: when your runic summoning is on cooldown, a massive increase to status is applied. So sonic arrows are just going to be detonating so much easier. And one of the most overpowered things about the spear is that it can take on any element and provide stun. So it is extremely good. Sorry, I'm screaming. I'm excited. But massive increase of status means we just get more status happening. It's a mess. It's a soup. Also, sonic arrows just have feedback and smash enemies, stun them in air for longer. It's just immensely good. Hexes did good too, but I find it's not as good as Sonic. Anyways, we also have this, sonic arrows deal increased more damage. So sonic arrows just all are more status, so even more status on top. You can throw something else in here, which kind of is good when your arrows are, when your quiver's empty, you do more damage. arrows come back quite fast, so this is really a pain in the ass to constantly keep managing, and the amount of time this is not active because you have to fully deplete all of your runic arrows. You can't just deplete one and then technically be gone, so it's quite the upkeep. But if you find anyone better than this, absolutely use them, but this one works extremely well for me, constantly spamming Sonic and things like that. But enough talk, let me actually show you guys what we're doing, and maybe I was actually... To clarify, most of the gear that we attain is from Misselheim, especially the hilt that is the best for basically not killing the hardest boss in the game is awarded to you, this weird slow time hilt that we have. But the one from Misselheim is also really good. It increases the damage you deal when an enemy is, you guessed it, stunned, which has you even do more damage, which is good, but it's not quite as good as just locking down a boss and then just wailing on them constantly. So yeah. Anyways, also the chest piece, the armor piece, almost all of the gear is awarded to you. You guessed it. Of course, by Misselheim. And just progressing through the story, by the way, you'll get a lot of the gems for Freya, and all of these things are kind of out and about. And also, you do not need nearly all of the things that I've shown you, especially if you're playing on normal. If you have the defense scaling one, and you have the hilt that does more damage to stun enemies, and you make sure you level up Sonic arrows, which in the gameplay you're about to see, I did not do. So Freya is significantly undercooked, and yeah, you'll be ready to rip. But yeah, most of the gear is just attained by just going through the paces, and make sure you stop by Misselheim. The fire lava area challenges. They're really simple, and you'll got it. Let's do it. And then we'll increase the difficulty. But this is one of my favorite ones because it's just it rewards you for being an absolute glutton. Also, see, we got a stun. Now, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't just immediately go because you won't kill them. But you can actually hit an enemy whilst they're being stunned. Also, Freya does plenty. So right here, we can basically weaken them until they can be instantly killed. Also, your cooldowns do not get affected by this. So there we go. Now we're ready to kill because there's that red arrow or aura around the button click. Oh, also we got a big boy, and now we can use some of these. And activate this, activate Freya, activate this if we wanted. Sorry, this. I haven't played the game in a while. The buttons aren't second nature anymore. See, he's ready to be killed. He's already dead. He's already dead. So we didn't even get to stun him there. But yeah, this build works for everything just because it's status and so much else. Also, the fact that we have range, we can use it. So, like, you know, the axe is kind of a pain in the ass to hit and then reclaim, hit and then reclaim. Also, we can just use Freya to do that. It would be cool if there was like an instant kill for your ranged enemies. Again, look how quickly we build up, well, I can't even show you how quickly we build up stun because he dies too quick. But yeah, we'll scale it to difficulty in a minute here. I just want to show you guys a little bit of insanity. Oh, here we go. Here's a big boy. Also, you guys are noticing that we're not using, also we can do this. Siphon an enemy's magic, so now we have the an incredible useful attack set. Also, we'll slow down time, do this, attack, 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 and then boom, heavy hit, and everything just gets completely pancaked. Also, this has insane range, so that can work, yeah. And then we can stun him up like that, and sooner or later he'll have the insane stun effect going. Come on, and we'll just use it real quick here, because now we can just beat him to hell. Go, 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 go. Why can't Freya shoot him? Shoot him in the meantime. And then we can just keep stunning him. Also, the spear has such good range. It's like, oh man, I cannot stop talking about how cool the spear is. It's just amazing. We have plenty of time. Ow. And again, we have so much survivability because of the fact that we're not utilizing our Spartan Rage. You don't have to do it. It's just one of the best armor pieces in the entire game. Also, you guys are noticing that we could just do this. And then this, if we wanted, we don't have to use everything. In fact, our stun is still permeated basically within our whole skill kit. So you can mess around with other weapons. It's not as good as the spear because we kind of built off the spear with Maelstrom to be able to slow down time, but you can use that and then switch to this. And as long as Freya does that, we can do pretty good. Same thing with this. Spin, 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 and most enemies will die as soon as he stands up. There we go. And just like that, easy breezy, not bad at all. Insane. Like, these are just one of some of the best abilities in the entire game. Unfortunately, if you can find better quick activation, high reward of damage, runic abilities on any of the other two weapons, it's for the best. So now let's go to settings and increase our difficulty to, yeah, we'll go with Give Me No Mercy, which basically is just a much harder difficulty. So let's do that. Come on, go. Yes, good. Oh shit, I'll have to reload the whole encounter. All right. That one, Rampage. All right. Oh, come on, give me something more than this. Also, my spear is gone. Now it's, no, come on, come back. There we go. Nope, that's my thing. Again, you can do stuff like this. and just do a good bit of damage. Switch to your things and then do this. Bang. That tends to kill everybody. And if you want to do little spinnies, you can. Come on, reach. There we go. Unfortunately, you're stuck spinning. That's why I said high return skills is kind of huge. But you can also do stuff like this and make sure you activate Freya so that she's on cooldown, so she's just doing inherently more damage. I think you're both doing high damage. We can do a execution, bang. We also can siphon off some energy from your boy. Oh, no, never mind. He blocked me. There we go. So we got some now good stuff here. We can do this. This is probably going to kill most of you. Yeah, see, even on the merciless difficulty, it's still nuts. Freya, kill it. Oof. Thank you. And then pop, and then easy breezy, dead. Give me this. Oh, here we go. Now we got an actual problem. So I can actually finally use this, and I can also use this. Boom. And then I don't have that left, so we'll just spam this. And then we'll do boom, 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 boom. Boom, there we go. We'll wait. We'll, ooh, give me a minute. I just need to pull this from you. There we go. Thank you, sir. Activate this. And everyone's stunned, ready to kill. So it's literally that easy. On the harder difficulties, it actually feels like it's easier. Also, I was trying to stun, it didn't happen. And, oh, I'm trying to activate the thing. So attack, attack, attack. Come on, my man. Attack, 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 attack. Sometimes they don't let you get that off, but when you do, it's incredibly satisfying. Now we have fire on our thing. Activate Maelstrom, slow and type, boom. And activate Sonic. Arrows do things, and he's ready to kill, although I think I'll just kill him outright because it's a pain to do the whole thing. Just die, my friend. This. And just kill them, yeah. So you don't need to stun kill them. You can literally just poke them a great many times and you'll be fine. Oh, of course, this is the bullshit. Although, wait, how the hell, how are we able to nuke down their health bar even with, how are you losing your health? Did I mess up? Are we not playing on the hardest difficulty? Are we playing on the easiest? Why am I able to cut through like this people? Yeah, I can cut through all of that? That's so overpowered, man. Also, of course you fucking took it out from me, goddammit. Anyways, yeah, still we're fine. Again, we can activate this. He'll die in 2 seconds. I wonder if they changed something. Because I felt like in the previous game, you would not do any damage unless you were using the type in which you have. But maybe they changed it. Regardless, maybe there's something happening with status that I'm not paying attention to. Because Freya doesn't have that effect on people. Boom, and just dead. And we can also do this. Freya, light him up. Has such good range. And then we can also do a pre-fire, attack, 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 attack. And then boom. Also, one thing I keep forgetting to do, which is super good, is this. Siphon the damage from them. It's so good. I always forget to do it, and it just 10x's your damage by so much. Yeah, it's just nuts. Freya, weaken them by Sonic Arrow. Oh, we can activate Maelstrom. Boom. Lunge. And just dead. Dead within 2 plucks. And everything is dead. We're not even using Freya's Sonic Arrows. It's just nutty. But then if you apply this one... oh! In fact, yeah, we're not even nearly as good as we could have been. Shit. Yeah. I forgot. Somebody who we were using had Sonic Arrows maxed out, and we have no Sonic Arrows. They weren't hitting twice, so we could have been doing even better. Sorry, this actually is huge because it hits Sonic Arrows twice, which just makes her able to stun like crazy. Shitty. Well, all right, let's remedy that. So, my friends, all shapes and sizes, here is the build on the hardest difficulty imaginable. No, not imaginable, second hardest. Unfortunately, again, I can't get access to hardest. Shoot me. Anyways, but I will say one thing that I need to clarify on is one of the biggest points of power for you who is in probably the middle to beginning of the game is as soon as you can get to this place, this fire area, go to it. One of the first rewards you can get for your spear is a hilt that is crafted by the dwarves that basically increases your damage to sonic enemies. Sonic also affects stun, so it's just a perfect harmony thing. This also gives you even more damage, but again, damage is really clunky when you're fighting bosses, because bosses just have very few openings to boot. So that's why I like the thing that we have, which is basically you put your hand up in the air and you can slow down time as well as activate your ability, your maelstrom on your spear. That is awarded to you by Svifelheim, or the area with the giant whale in it. There's a berserker in that location, which requires you to have the spear in order to get to. And yeah, you can literally see it on your map. It shows that there's a berserker at the bottom left corner of the map, near the mountains, essentially. Yeah, go in there. You'll get it's a really hard fight. It's touted as being one of the hardest, if not the hardest fight in the entire game. I did it when I was pretty underleveled, but I also restarted like 1,000 times. So yeah. Also, by no means, just to be clear, am I mid-maxed in the slightest. Again, I have not gotten all of the health apples. I've not gotten the max rage at all. I think I got 2 out of the 2 rage gear charges, all those things. So I'm not by any means maxed out, and I'm already having a time that I can dominate the max difficulty aspect of the game. So if you did get all that stuff, I think even the berserkers would be a cakewalk for you. Again, I don't have all of the abilities nor all the collectibles. I think there'll be a lot of better skills that you could do to make this build even better. If you happen to get all of the skills in which could do a bunch of damage or a bunch of whatever, but also does that quickly, so expends a bunch of damage, a big payout of damage quickly, efficiently, so that you can get back to your spear faster, and so that the cooldown can get cooling down sooner. So if you could do all those things, sorry to ramble at you so much, but if you could do all those things, this build would get even nuttier. And again, I mainly just made this build because I wanted to see some cool stuff when it comes to stun. I loved seeing Kratos just tear enemies asunder. I love seeing Atreus do the same. And seeing how sonic arrows, specifically your companion's artifacts, I didn't really mention it, but our shield, nothing is really, I didn't mention the things that aren't really important. Things that are important are your spear's hilt, and of course your runes. And again, just go to the location of the runes. You should be good to go. Yeah, and also do buried treasure and you should be good. And just because I want to show you guys some more gameplay in the background, I'll ramble at you a little bit more. There is one thing that I think I might change in this, and that is essentially our armor pieces. So we have our pants, and of course our gauntlets. Now with that, ones we have on right now, or what's awarded to you in this area, it's you can buy them from the dwarves. It's basically increases the amount of charges you gain for maelstrom, which is your power up your weapon thing. When you hit attack, you can basically level up your weapon to have a giant ult and be imbued with fire or ice, or of course stun. We're rocking stun. But anyways, if you're not using the hilt that we're using, which is the one that slows down time, the one that does more damage to sonic enemies, I would heavily advise you basically becoming even more of a damage powerhouse when it comes to your skills. How you would do that is there is another armor type in the game that you'll eventually find. I think it's kind of hard to miss, but basically it reduces your skills cooldown when you're able to get hits with that equipped weapon. So if you're using a spear, which hits very quickly, and you're of course shaving off chunks of your cooldown for your skill every single time, that means you can spam the ever-living hell out of your skills, as well as have kind of it all. And also I think that would obfuscate the damage loss that is given to you by slowing down time and just lighting enemies up. In fact, it probably is more. I just like slowing down time because it's pretty aesthetic and stylistic, and yeah. Anyways, also in the gameplay that you're seeing right now, this is a great example of the amazing chest piece that we have rocking out. We have no health, but yet we do. We have another health bar. Sad thing is it still hurts when enemies hit us and takes chunks of our health away, but still. But yeah, this is a good way to be extremely tanky. Not only that, but again, because of the weird soup of stuff that we've lined up, we are super tanky because of our high defense feeding into stun. We are also able to do more damage because of sonic arrows, maximizing our companions' necklaces and gems, and of course also who we're hitting with our statuses, and also level up your skills and all that as well. That helps, but again, that's not what we're really driving off of. And of course, level up your spear if possible. The last upgrade for your spear is also found within that same place that you get the slowdown spear hilt that I told you in Svifelheim, or whatever it's called. Bottom left corner of the map, berserkers over there, kill them, you'll get an upgrade for your spear, as well as the hilt for your spear, and you'll be ready to rock. But again, I do think there's a possibility when an enemy is affected by Sonic, and the belt and the gauntlets that basically reduce your cooldown might just be better, but maybe not. Try it out for yourself and have some fun with the game, because frankly, I hope God of War 4, 5, 6, whatever, all have these time stone mechanics in them because it's so fun. Anyways, me in the past, take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, that was my build. I'm not sure what I'll call it. The stun build. Again, like we're kind of so many weird things, but again, the things I think that you should absolutely focus on if you're trying to do this is just focus on getting whomever your companions' accessories leveled up. Ideally, they're the ones that affect status, which is super good, especially for things like stun. Thank you so much for your time. Consider trying out this build. It's pretty easy to make. The only thing that gave me a little bit of some struggle is getting Kratos' amulet for Svartalheim, getting this special artifact, which is getting acquired by buried treasure and one side quest in the area, which you should do both because they're great. But alas, sorry to take so much of your time. Appreciate you to bits. We will continue to make a ton of content on the channel and predominantly stream, which is where we actually made this build first. If you want to go check out the stream where we played the entire game, we got a little emotional in some parts, a little bit, yeah, but it was such a good game. And hopefully you can go check those videos out as well. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys think of the build. Let me know what you guys got rocking on. This can perform at the highest possible difficulties. The fact that the hardest difficulty that I at least can equip right now is giving me no trouble, I think it would be fine for you. Again, replace our spear's staff that slows down time every time Maelstrom is activated with the one that you get from this area specifically. Light attacks on sonic affected enemies, and you'll just nuke down enemies, any enemy that you get her to stun. Thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and goodbye.